think we're live. This is so interesting. Okay, so let me face my camera a little bit here. Okay, so this is YouTube Live, I believe, and this is my first YouTube Live, so please bear with me as I figure everything out. For those of you who are just joining me, my name is Stacey Flowers. I am an international speaker. I travel around the world inspiring people to create real happiness. I also teach aspiring speakers how to enhance their speaking skills and level up to become a professional speaker. And I teach people like you how to create real happiness by inviting you on a journey of personal development and spiritual growth. Today, I'm actually going to be doing my budget for December 2017. Again, if you don't know me, I have been on this journey to repay 100% of all of my debt, and I've been doing it for 3 years. I failed miserably at the top of this year, and in an effort to unfail that, I'm trying to figure out the best way to document my process. And so this is 2017. So I started in 2014. So 2014 to 2000, my overall debt, from 2014 to 2017, my overall starting debt was $163,000, and I paid off close to half of that. And then at the top of this year, 2017, so at the top of 2017, I had paid off close to half of the 160. Then at 2017, I got incredibly sick, closed my business, like all of these just unexpected things happened. And I fell off. And I fell off in such a way that not only did I go back into debt, but I went back into debt plus more than what I had before. And so my current debt right now, I probably should have written that down, but I don't have my paper where I wrote that down. But my current debt right now is about $203,000. And so this is the journey of me paying that off. For those of you who are joining me from Instagram, you know that before my last two budgets I did on Instagram, but Instagram I can't save my videos, and I didn't want to save and convert to YouTube. So moving forward, we are going to do my live budgets using the Dave Ramsey forms right here on YouTube Live. Now, there must be a way for you guys to ask me questions, and I do see people hide all chats, show live chat. Okay, and I do see people in here, so you guys are more than welcome to ask me questions. It's really going to be a walkthrough. Like, I'm literally going to crunch the numbers and everything right in front of you. So just really kind of show you what it's like for me when I'm doing my budget every month. This is December, so this will be the last budget that I'm doing for 2017, and it's actually the third budget that I'm doing for 2017. I did not work for all of 2017, again, because I was incredibly sick and unable to work, whether it was working as an employee or having my own or working for my business. I just mentally, emotionally, physically, I was not able to do that. So this is my third budget for 2017. And we're gonna get started now. So, all right, so the budget forms for Dave Ramsey, he has 3. I highly recommend them. I love them. Actually, that's not what I do first. Well, let me see. No, that goes in my room. Yes. So what I do first, really, when I'm doing my budget, is I do a monthly review. And I just answer 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9. I answer 9 to 10 questions before I actually go into my next month's budget, but I'm not going to answer them here on the live because that's going to be in a different video where I'm actually reviewing my November budget. So the budget forms that Dave Ramsey has, he has the first budget form, which is your quick start budget. Let me bring that a little bit closer. It's quick start budget. It's 1 page, and the categories are charity, savings, housing, utility, food, clothing, transportation, and personal. So if you're familiar with Dave Ramsey, his quick start budget essentially is an overview of his concept of the 4 walls. And his concept of the 4 walls is that before you start paying off any debt whatsoever, you need to make sure your 4 walls are intact. And it's funny that they're called 4 walls because it's really 5 categories. I don't know what that's about, but anyway, your 4 walls are your food, your shelter, your clothing, your transportation, and your utilities. And so you map that out on the quick start budget first. So I'm going to map that out on my quick start budget here really, really quickly. So for tithes, I want to do 10% of my income. I don't know what my income is going to be this month. And so I'm going to do some projecting. And I'm going to project based on, and this is something new, is last month I really wanted to find part-time employment. I don't want to do full-time employment because my business is viable. I have a very strong company. I just did not have it set up in a way where if I was sick that it wouldn't work. So my company has very high earning potential, but I just needed to restructure it in a way where when I'm not working, I'm still earning. And that's something that I've concentrated on this last quarter. And so you'll see those changes in 2018. And so I didn't need full-time employment. What I needed was part-time employment to just sort of make sure that I could manage my four walls. And so I found part-time employment. That part-time employment will probably pay me about $800 to $1,000 a month, which I'm comfortable with that. So for the quick start budget, I am going to plan tithing off of just the part-time employment, not my projected business income, because I don't actually have a projection of earning business income like payouts in the month of December. So we're gonna do 800 for the total income for December. We're gonna just put that here at the top, and so then my tithe off of the 800 would be $80. So we'll put that in here. Then the next category is savings. So I want to fund my emergency fund. And in the Dave Ramsey program, if you make $20,000 or less, your emergency fund starts at $500 instead of $1,000. So baby step number one is to save for your emergency fund. So at this time, again, my income is under $20,000. So my emergency fund will be $500. Now, as my business income, as my projected business income actually becomes, as my projected business revenue actually becomes profit, which then turns into income, this will change. So based on the income that I know that I'm going to get with my part-time job, that is why I am a person who's earning under $20,000, which is the reason why to start baby step one, I'm going to only save $500. But you guys will see in the months to come that will change. So I'm going to put down $500. And based on what I just wrote here, that is my whole $800. But we'll talk about like what the other stuff that I'm going to do so that I can have some more money. The next category is housing. So my monthly rent, in a previous live, I talked about how when I first moved to Chicago, it was very unexpected. I got sick, so I was renting an Airbnb, and I had rented the Airbnb for 6 weeks. Then I got sick, and so I asked them for another month, and they gave me another month, and I still couldn't leave. I still wasn't well enough. So then I asked for another month, and I still wasn't well enough. And so the third month, I asked for another month and asked her if I could continue the lease until August, and she said yes. And so by June or July, I was like, okay, I'm just gonna continue until the end of the year. So I continued it until the end of the year. And so we weren't technically on a full-blown sublease. We were more sort of in like a verbal, sort of a contract subleasing sort of situation. And so that total, because I was kind of renting it through Airbnb for my rent, for my utilities, and for my internet. So it was rent for a 2-bedroom, 2-bath Chicago apartment. Internet and heat, water, and gas, the total was $1,050. And so to help manage that, because again, I just started working, I got a roommate, and so she will cover half of those expenses. So my rent budget amount is going to be $575 for this month. Right now, speaking to that roommate, I anticipate that she'll be around for about a quarter, which will work as I'm sort of stabilizing for the year of 2018. But my rent is going to be $575. But again, you guys will see that change because obviously when I'm no longer having a roommate, I'll just have that expense on my own. Then I don't have electricity or gas or water again, or internet, because that is tied into this total amount that she was charging me. For my phone, you guys know that I have my phone through Virgin Mobile. I can't show you because I'm on it right now, but you guys know I have my phone through Virgin Mobile. It is the iPhone 6. I think, and my phone bill is it's $45 a month, but with like taxes and fees, it's like $48. So I'll put that under my utilities. Groceries for this month, I did not awesome last month. But we'll talk about that in my budget review. So groceries for this month, I don't have a lot of pantry things. I actually, what I want to do this month is I want to set up my pantry. So I want to really do some bulk shopping. So I'm actually going to do 150 because I'm making more things from scratch. And in me making things from scratch, it winds up being less expensive, but that initial expense is sort of high. So I'll do 150 there. Clothing, I still need a winter coat. So I need to put a winter coat on here. I need to get shoes for the new job that I have. So let's say that. And then I just need like some sweaters and stuff. Like I have enough denim, but I need some sort of like wintry clothes. So 250. So that's so I'll do about 300 there. And then the same thing for my son. I'll do about 300 for his stuff as well. What he'll need for the winter. For transportation, many of you know I talked about this a couple of times in the live, but I hadn't been paying my car note. So at the top of November, my car was repossessed. And so in my November review, I will talk a lot more about how I feel about that, etc. But I no longer have car note, gas, and insurance. And so my transportation costs are the cost of a monthly transportation card, which for Chicago, they have great public transportation. So it's $100 a month. So that category, I will just put $100. And then for personal, I don't have my life insurance. It's not back up yet. I will have life insurance for my son. And the life insurance is for me just in case something happens to me for my son. That will be active at the top of the year. My health insurance, I don't have health insurance right now, but I do go to a therapist once a week. And the fee is $70 a week. And so that is times 4, 280. Yes, 280. Yes, 280. So I'll put that under my health insurance cost because that's what it is right now. Then I don't have disability insurance, don't have childcare expenses, entertainment expenses. I don't have that. And then my current business expense right now is $15, and that manages my hosting services for my podcast. If you are not listening to my podcast, you totally should. It is the Stacey Flowers podcast, and you can listen to that on iTunes. So if you are not listening, you totally should listen. It's amazing. Like all the people who are listening and who are like DMing me the way this podcast is making them feel and how it's inspiring them. Like, I heart you guys. I love you guys. I appreciate you so much. Thank you, thank you, thank you. So that is my only business expense for the month. So I will put that here. So then I just need to add up all of this. So that is, I don't know why I never bring out a calculator, which doesn't really make a lot of sense. So it's 580. But again, you guys are seeing me do this real time. And a part of the reason why I wanted you guys to see this is because I think people don't, I hope you guys can hear me. I think people don't do a budget because it actually takes work and people want it not to take work. But I just want to show you guys that it takes work. And I have done this particular budgeting form so prior to these last 3 months, I did it for 2 years. So I'm moving through it a lot faster. But the first time I did the Dave Ramsey budget forms, it took me like 3 hours. Like the first time I did it because I didn't really understand it. But now I understand it much better. So it takes me a little less time. Still takes me a minute, but a little less time. 1353. Plus 600, 3591, 1953, 23, 295, 8, 4, 3, 2. So my total expenses for the month of December are $2,348. So as you can see already, my budget is over because my projected income is only $800. So the way that I plan to make up for that, I do have some plans to sell some things, some of my possessions to see if I can earn some money that way. I'm going to try to see if I'm not going to try. I'm going to sell some of my possessions, and I'm going to do some services, some really quick and easy services to try to fill in the gap for that $2,348 so that way I can get everything that I need to get this month. However, in the event that I don't, when we do the allocated spending, which is the third Dave Ramsey form, you will see how I plan to allocate the $800 that is like guaranteed minus the other money that I plan on earning through selling some things and providing some quick services. So I did my quick start budget. The next budget forms, and again, you guys can ask any questions that you have. The next budget forms are the monthly cash flow. And so this is just sort of you parsing out how your money is going to go out and where it's going to go. Gives you a little bit more detail. So like under the grocery budget, I put 150 on the cash flow. It can go to groceries or restaurant. Like, how am I really going to divide that out is what that looks like. So under my tithes, I'm going to put 80, and my tithes as from the items that I'm selling. I'm not going to tithe off of items that I'm selling because those are items that I've already purchased, and I tithe on the money prior to purchasing them, if that makes sense. So like if I bought this out of my paycheck, then I've already tithe, right? So even though that's income, for me, it's not income in this regard. It's through this sale. So I'm not going to tithe off things that I sell, but through the services, things that I own that I sell, through the services that I sell this month, I will tithe off of that. So that amount potentially will go up. So you have to come back and see the budget review that I'll put up to see if it goes up. So, or see what it goes up to. So that will be 80. My emergency fund, I want to replenish that at $500. That I'm planning to replenish from the sale of items, if that makes sense. So 80, so total minus 800, that leaves me with 920. Then I'm still gonna put 920 here because this is gonna come from the sale of items. Then from my my rent for the month, minus 920. So 3, so then I have, okay, don't have any of those other things. Then I have my phone bill, that's gonna come out, 48. And this, I think the cash flow budget form is the one that people love to skip over because it seems like it's redundant. It just seems like it's a replay of the quick start budget, but it's not, because you get a little bit more in depth with the categories, and it includes your debt payments that you plan on making. So, because if you notice, with the $2,348, nothing in there was me paying debt. Transportation, 100. And 280. All right, so then the front page is all filled out. Then I have my insurances, so then my toiletries. This is something that I'll probably talk about in another video, like the toiletry changes that I'm making. So I'm wanting to go organic and more green and save money, and so I'm going to be making investments in those toiletries, but that's going to be a separate YouTube video where you guys can see what all of those items are. And so for those toiletries up front, I believe it's going to be about $100. Cosmetics and hair care, $100 there. Education and tuition, none. Book supplies, child support. You guys do know that I have a child. He lives full-time with his father. My income is very low, but I try very hard to send something. So once that number goes up, obviously that number will go up. But based on what I can send, I will take $25 out of my guaranteed money. And that's not, and I feel like the money that I spend on like clothes and stuff that I'm hoping, anticipating to spend on clothes and stuff for my son, that's different than the child support that I would actually send. So even if I was at my full earning potential, because right now I'm at like 10% of my earning potential, but again, I'm just getting started again. So but right now I'm at 10% of my earning potential. But even out of my 10%, I want to give something to my son's father. But when I'm at 100% of my earning potential and I'm buying clothes for my son, I'm not going to reduce the amount of child support that I'm sending to him, because I feel like child support is just that. It's child support. Like, yes, my son has room here in my home. Yes, my son, when he comes to visit, he has access, blah, blah, blah. But his father is the one that is providing for him every single day. And for that reason, I'm going to send him additional funds to support and do the other parts of taking care of my son. So if you guys want, we can do a whole video about that. But again, another reason why I'm documenting it from here is because this is going to move fast, right? Like, some of you guys are going to start with me right now where I have nothing. I don't have, and when I say I have nothing, I mean I don't have any income. I don't have prospects. My capacity to pay off $200,000+ is, how is she going to do that? Like, we're literally in no man's land. Like, it literally seems impossible. But I want to show you guys what I do to move from something that's impossible to something that's possible. Because showing you guys the end, or even showing you guys the middle, some of you guys aren't going to believe it. So some of these videos are as much for me as they are for you, because I think that even before, when I was paying it off, people were like, how? And it's just like, sometimes you cannot explain the how. You just need to get started, and the how will show up. But sometimes also, the how is so dramatic and drastic that unless you have documentation that says this is where you begin, you won't believe you, and you'll forget that this is where you began. And so even with the situation with the child support, like, it's embarrassing. It's embarrassing. It's humiliating. I am too old, and my son is too old for me to only be able to afford to send $25 in the month of December for child support. It's embarrassing. It's humiliating, but it is also the truth. It is in the words of J.K. Rowling, it is the rock bottom, is a firm foundation for which to rebuild again. And this is a version of rock bottom. Like, me not being able to take care of my child in any financial capacity is a form of rock bottom, especially coming from where I came from. But in order for me to do it properly, I am using the alchemy of transparency. I'm using the alchemy of setting intentions. I'm using the alchemy of consistency to do that. And you all are reaping the benefit of catching me while I'm doing it now, because I promise you, it's going to go so fast that people are going, they're not, if there wasn't a timestamp on this, you're not going to believe that this is where it started. But I want you guys to see that no matter where you're starting from, just get started and just keep going, right? And this, for me, is a restart, right? And probably in 2018, I'll probably stop talking about it as a restart, but it really is a restart. But anywho, so $25 for child support, no alimony, no subscriptions, no organizational dues, gifts for Christmas. I'm not giving out Christmas gifts this year. I've already made this decision, and I'm not going to feel guilty about it, because again, I only have enough money to send my son for child support, $25. Who would I be to be trying to send gifts to other people, family, friends in general, when I cannot actually support my child? It doesn't make any sense. But getting this down on paper, this is the other reason why you want to do a handwritten budget. Getting it down on paper helps you to see, helps to give you confidence and conviction about those decisions that defy the cultural norm. Because some people are going to be upset. Some people are going to say it's ridiculous. Some people are going to say, figure it out. Some people are going to have a lot to say. But seeing my numbers here is going to rein all that in. I don't care what you think. I can only send $25 to support my child this month. So I am not buying Christmas gifts. Right? See how that fixes that whole issue? And most people just don't write stuff down enough to get honest with themselves, so that they can say, oh, the reason why I'm not doing this is because of this. The reason why I'm not going to buy anything to show people or to prove to people how much I love them is because I am not honoring my responsibility as a mother right now. And if you cannot be supportive and understanding and okay with that, then we need to make some adjustments in your relationship that you have with me, because this isn't going to work long term. Does that make sense? So no Christmas gifts, no replacement furniture. I'm not doing this month, but if you listen to my budget review that I'm going to have of November, I'll talk about my sinking funds. No pocket money for myself. I'm going to give myself about like $10 in pocket money, just some change for like snacks and stuff. Been snacking a lot. Pet supplies. So I do have a dog. He doesn't need any supplies right now. So actually, you know what? Food. So food for him is $25. See, that's even just writing that down just hurt all of my feelings. All right. So I will not spend the same amount on my dog that I spend on my child. So if it costs $25 to feed my dog, then I'm going to have to figure out a way to send more to my child. Because I don't need a dog. I want a dog. He's wonderful. He's amazing. But I will not be that person who takes better care of my animals than I do my child, just because my animal is with me and my child is not physically in my presence. Because I do think that that does have a lot to do with it. But even if I have to do something else, and the reason these two categories, again, they're going to come from that $800 that's guaranteed. So we'll do, I know my dog food is $25, and then I'll send $75 to my son's father. But again, here's a point. This is where you write it down, because writing it down helps you to see what you're actually doing, because I take no thought of buying food for this dog. And I took no thought, well, no, I did take thought. I thought about it. I experienced the embarrassment of only being able to send $25 to my son's father. But the truth of the matter is if I didn't have a dog, then I could send $50. So you need to figure that out. Does that make sense? I'm hoping that makes sense. So yeah, we'll change that to $75 for child support. No music, no miscellaneous, and then my business expense has to go in there at $15. So that's $25, $50, $250, $325. $325. No entertainment, no vacations. I don't have a car payment, and again, I'll talk about. I didn't see your name, but I saw your comment. Thank you so much. I saw your comment. You said you're so inspiring, but I couldn't read your name, but thank you. So I don't have a car payment, but again, in my budget review of November, I will talk about what that means, what that looks like, etc. I have what I am considering 2 credit cards. I have an Amazon Visa. Oh, but I guess I'm not paying any of that, so I don't have to actually write that in right now. So I'm not paying anything on my credit cards. I'm not paying anything on my student loans, and I'm not paying any debts this month. That was the point of that whole thing. So I'm not paying any debts. So then, what's supposed to happen with the cash flow is your income minus your expenses is supposed to equal 0. We know that that's not going to happen from this particular budget of mine, simply because I have not sold the items that I anticipate selling. But what I want to equal 0, and what I'm actually going to plot on the allocated spending, is the $800 part-time income that I know that it's going to come in. So I'm going to map that out now to make sure that comes out to 0. So we have $800 minus $80 equals $720. $720 minus $575 is $245. 245 minus 48. 15 minus 8 is 7. 13 minus 4 is 9. Equals 197. 197 minus, hello dear, how are you? 197 minus 150 equals, whoa. Okay, so what I'm gonna have to do, I only have 197 left, so I'm gonna have to change out my grocery budget. So I'm gonna have to change out my grocery budget just to make sure that I can guarantee that I can actually buy some food. So that'll be 197 minus 50. And then if I have some extra left over, I'll do the bulk shopping at 100. Again, this is the reason why you write it down, because you see how I'm like, oh yeah, 150, write this down. But as you actually add up the numbers, it changes. So 197, so then that leaves me with 447 or 147. So then we'll carry the 147 over to my back page. So 147 minus 75, which will be for child support, which leaves me with let's see, 13 minus 7 is 5, that's 12, 6, leaves me with $62. And then, so we have 62 minus $25 for food, 12, 7, 5, $37 minus $10 pocket money, which leaves me with $27 minus the $15 business expense, leaves me with $12. Okay, so I have $12 left over. So I'm going to take that $12 that's left over and put it into my food budget. So that gives me $62 food budget. So that way my actual money that I know that I am going to earn from my part-time job and the budget that I did actually adds up to zero. Me too, Bertha Dukes. What does me too mean? If you can just, I didn't see your other comment. My head was down. I don't know why it doesn't stay on the, you know why it doesn't stay on here? Because you're not Facebook Live. And you know what, since you can't be expecting Facebook things from YouTube. I apologize, YouTube. Yeah, Bertha, if you could rewrite that in there. I didn't see your comment. But yeah, so now my monthly cash flow based on the $800 that I anticipate earning from my part-time job equals zero. Based on that $800, the things that I am going to be able to take care of. Oh, thank you for saying that. It's inspiring. I'm so happy for you guys to join me on the journey. So what I'm going to pay with the $800 are my tithes. I always pay my tithes no matter what. My rent, which again, it's half because I have a roommate. My cell phone bill, $62 in groceries, child support, pet supplies, pocket money, business expense. Those are going to be the things. Now, again, there are other things that I would like to purchase that, again, through the items that I'm selling, and then the quick exchange business services that I'm going to do, like consulting. I will just call it consulting services. The quick consulting services that I'm going to do in the month of December, I anticipate being able to, you're not staying? Okay, I anticipate being able to take care of those things. So Dave Ramsey has another form that for that, right? Because you're like, okay, well, how do you keep track of that? How do you know what you're going to spend on? So his other form that he has for that is irregular income planning. So again, the things that I plan on selling and the consulting sort of things, that particular income. So let's figure out what I'm hoping to do in that. That's 8, 4, 13, 5. So what I need in additional income is $1,548. Now the question is when I get that $1,548, what order am I going to take care of these other things that I need to take care of, right? And so I can tell you right now, the first thing that I'm going to do is fund my emergency fund. And that's $500. So minus that will put me at $1,048. The second thing that I'm going to do is get me a coat and winter clothes and more winter clothes for my son. So I'm going to do us $150 and $150. So even though we get $300 each, the first $150 that I make over, I'm going to get myself a coat. The second $150 a coat and some shoes. The second $150 that I make over, I'm going to get my son some clothes. Does that make sense? To add up to the $150. So it'll be 4 lines for that. So adult $150, son $150, adult $150, son $150. All right. So then after I do that, after I take care of those, the next thing that I'll take care of are my expenses for therapy. I'm going to go to therapy no matter what. That is something that monthly I do charge on my credit card, which you're not supposed to do that according to the Dave Ramsey plan. And I'm being transparent with you guys because I want you to understand that in no way, shape, or form is it perfect. It's not like thank you, Pamela. I'm so happy that the transparency has helped you. In no way, shape, or form am I saying that I'm perfect. Am I saying that I'm doing it right? I want to get back to where I was. I am trying to figure out how to do that. I don't exactly know how to do that because, again, so much that happened this year was unexpected. And the best way that I know how is to express it through these videos. And because for me, I learned this year that I healed through talking, which is really amazing that that's also a part of my purpose, but is a part of me doing it through these videos, but a part of me also being 100% honest in these videos as well. And so every single month, my therapy appointments goes on a credit card, and I figure out how to pay that off. Now, obviously, that's not good, but I don't have medical insurance right now, and I have not figured out how to do that. And again, I'm 3 months in to starting over, and I'm doing well for myself so far. First month, I'll talk about what I did the first couple of months and how it's getting better. But yeah, so I just want to put that out there. So it's going to go on a credit card so I can go during the week, but I want to pay that off at the end of the month. So I'll put the $280 will be the next thing that I do. Then after therapy is paid off, I will get my toiletries. And the reason why the toiletries can wait is because I still have toiletries. I just, again, want to switch over to green and organic and cost savings. But if I can't afford to do it this month, then it's fine. Cosmetics will be the next thing. And then the rest of the food budget for bulk food items, which 150 minus 62, that's 814, 888. So that leaves me 88 because I'm taking some of that out of the budget. So that's the way that your regular spending. So I know for sure for the month of December that I'm going to earn $800. And in me earning $800, I'm going to be able to pay my tithes. I'm going to be able to pay my rent, my phone bill, food, transportation, child support, pocket money, pet supplies, business expenses. I know 100% for sure that those four walls, if you will be taken care of. As I make sales of different things that I'm going to sell around my home, and I provide these quick consulting services, the additional $1,548 in order will go $500 to my emergency fund first, $150 to, I'm not being honest, it won't go to $400. I will at least I want to do my full emergency fund, so I'm hoping, I really want to get that fully funded. But I will be honest with you, if I have $500 in my emergency fund, I will take some of that to get a winter coat and change my shoes because it's cold outside. I live in Chicago and I need to change my shoes for the part-time job that I have. So first $500 will go to that emergency fund. Hopefully I make the sales in such a way that it's a bulk amount of money that I have, and then that way I don't have to take it out of the emergency fund. But maybe I'll do $250, then get my shoes and coat, and then go back and do the $250. Then I'll do more winter clothes for my son. Then I'll do clothes again for myself, son, and then I'll pay off my therapy. Then I'll get my toiletries. Then I'll do my cosmetics, and then I'll do my food. So that is my irregular spending, and there's a plan for that as well. So there's no like, oh, I got an extra $300. I don't know what to do with it. No, I know exactly what to do with it. You're going to put it in your emergency fund, or you're going to, et cetera, et cetera. So then the last form that Dave Ramsey has is the allocated spending forms. And these forms are the most tedious and like irritating ones to do because they're the most helpful, but they're also the most tedious ones to do. And it just looks like, let me show you the actual form. It looks like this, and they're tedious because you're putting in your pay periods, right? And that's how you actually spend your money. If you get paid every 2 weeks, you actually start spending your money on the day that you get paid. So he actually created a form where you say, okay, out of this pay period, what am I going to pay for? So I will get 5 checks this month because I get paid every Friday at this part-time job. So I received one of my paychecks on December 1st, so last Friday, and that net income was $141.14. And I can just tell you guys, the part-time job, I'm making $11 an hour. So to kind of calculate what $11 an hour, 20 hours a week is what it is. And so to calculate sort of what I would take home, I usually just do times 950. So taxes, FICA, all that stuff will come out. So I'll do times 950 times $10 to kind of calculate what it'll be. These are the first checks that I'm getting. So obviously once I become regular, I'll know exactly after taxes what 20 hours a week will be. But the 141.14, that was for like 14.5 hours or something like that. So I'll write that in the first column for December. So out of the 141.14, I have not cashed that check yet. And that in part I just did because I don't want it to burn a hole in my pocket, because a lot of people, let me not talk about people, let me talk about me. I am used to making way more money than that. And if I cash it and I have $141.14 in my hand, I do not want to treat that like it's chump change, because in my normal life where I'm healthy and earning at 100%, that's chump change. But in my reality and in my current state, that is not chump change. Every single one of those pennies matters. And it matters not just because I'm over $200,000 in debt, but it also matters because this is the beginning of me earning income, if that makes sense. So I intentionally did not cash it yet because I don't want that feeling of, oh, it's just chump change, you can make this, it's fine, just spend. I don't want that feeling. I rather take that and then the check that I'll get this Friday and take it to the bank so it seems like a larger amount. Because again, I have to retrain my brain to, one, Stacey, you're not earning a crap ton of money anymore. 2, you don't have provision anymore. I can't say that I don't have it, but the provision that was there is not there anymore. I do, there is support, but it's not there anymore. So I just have to retrain myself to live within my means and live within this reality. Although I'm not necessarily a person who really deals in reality, like, that sounded bad. I'm a type of person who believes in my potential, and I'm usually able to reach my potential quickly. So it doesn't take me a long time to go from nothing to something. However, getting sick this year, I have to honor my body. I have to honor my mental capacity. I have to honor different systems that I probably did not consider in years past, but moving forward, I have to honor them. And so in an effort to honor them, it is showing respect for every dollar, even the dollar amounts that in theory are not a lot. This is a lot of money. So I have not spent any of that money yet, and I will put it in the bank with the check that I get next week. So, but in terms of allocating the spending, the gross on that was $53 or $153. So the tithe out of that is going to be $15. It won't go into any savings. It won't go in, it won't from the 141.14. Technically it won't go from the rent or mortgage because actually no, let me go ahead and take that. So then I will take 100 of that for my rent and mortgage. So I have 115. So 15 minus 141. You know what would be awesome is if I had a calculator. So I don't have a calculator, but let me see if I can pull one up on my computer. Make sure I'm still in the frame. Sorry, guys. All right. Let's see. All right, so we have 141.14 minus $15 equals 126. And again, this one I like it because it shows you what's left over. So 126, then minus the $100 that I'm going to put towards my my rent, leaves me with $26.14. So that $26.14 I am going to put on groceries, and that leaves me with zero. So you see how for that pay period, 3 different sections, money has gone out, and now I'm at zero. So then I'm done. Marva, you're from Joliet, Illinois. Oh, nice. You're right around the corner. You should come to the Ultimate Vision Board Party. I'm having it Thursday, January 4th, here in Chicago. Just go to eventbrite.com and search Stacey Flowers Inc. or the Ultimate Vision Board Party. You should drive in and come. It will be amazing. And then we can see each other live, hug each other, and hang out. So that's for that particular pay period. The next date, I'm going to need to pull up a calendar. My next pay period is going to be, I'm actually not going to be able to fill it out because I don't know how many hours I have for each pay period. But what I will make sure that I do, I'm going to continue that across the page. But what I will make sure that I do for you all who are watching this now is I will, in the budget review that I do for next month, I will make sure that I show you guys where I allocated the rest of the $800, because I can't really do it because I don't know what those numbers are going to be. But yeah, so that is my December 2017 budget so far. So do you guys have any questions? While you're thinking of questions to type, I just wanted to kind of, again, give a little bit of a review. And this is as much for you as it is for me. My first 2 live budgets that I did them on Instagram Live, so they were deleted so that the documentation wasn't there. But I just want to make sure that the documentation is in this one. So the first budget that I did for the year of 2017 was in October. And I did that budget in October. Was it October or was it September? Well, let me look at it. That's why it's good to have a budget binder. Okay, yes, it was October. I did that budget in October, and I had a projected income. I wanted to earn $2,000 in the month of October, and I met that goal in October. I actually made over $2,000. I had a blessing. Someone had just sent me money via PayPal just to bless me. My mom had given me money. I earned money from my master class, and then I also participated in a study, like a trial, a drug trial. And so total for that month was $2,375, which was really awesome because that set me up to have a successful October, November, and December. And with respect to, I was able to pay my rent for October and my rent for November and get some of my other basic expenses taken care of because I had participated in the study and had that $2,000 to work with. For the month of October, for the month of November, I did a budget again, and I projected to earn $3,000. I did not earn that. That will be in the budget review. I did not earn that, but I wanted to earn $3,000 and get a part-time job and complete my budget. The month of November, I'll actually have that captured. But big things that happened in November, just for documentation's sake, is my car was repossessed, and is there something else big that happened in November? And yeah, I think that was it in November. So yeah, so that's like a good timestamp for me personally. I don't see any questions, so just want to say thank you guys. I will be here next month. I will always do my budget live using the Dave Ramsey forms within the first week. I'm going to try to shoot for doing it on Thursday mornings or afternoons, just because Thursday is a day that works for me. It's going to be my goal to get it up here on Thursday, but also to just get information out to you guys so more of you guys can join. If you have any questions, please leave them in the comments below. Share this video with every single person that you know. Money has a huge impact on our levels of happiness, and I want to, my work, the thing that I love doing is inspiring people to create real happiness. And one of the ways that we can do that is if we build a community around, one another that involves us talking about money and being 110% transparent with each other. And I am willing to lead that movement by starting with my own finances. So I love you guys so much. Thank you so much for supporting me. And I will talk to you again soon. Bye. Bye. Now, YouTube, how do I stop this? Share? Oh, no. No, I don't think that's how we do it. Oh, they have filters. Do I just push the exit? Does anybody know how to stop it? I don't want to delete it.